Well, hello. Welcome back To Be Honest, that show that I do every week, whether I like it or not, and sometimes I don't. That makes sense somehow. Anyway, you'll probably notice that I am in different threads today. It has occurred to me that I've been doing this for about 6 months, off and on, like 6 months. This was supposed to be like a weekend thing. Actually, it may have been more than 6 months now that I'm thinking about it. So this morning, as I was getting ready, I thought, why the bathrobe? Every time the bathrobe. And I understand branding and all that, but it just felt like time for a change. So I'm hoodied up. Don't worry, there are rules to this, and it just so happens that if you want to wear a hoodie, there are rules in the event of fuzzy slippers. And so it's all taken care of. So, pardon me. So, let's see. Last week, I made you a video. Hold on. I need my coffee this morning. This isn't just for show. I am damn tired. So last week I made a video, sat down here, spoke to you for about an hour, just talking about video games. And then when I sat down to edit it, it occurred to me that nobody in their right mind would want to hear me talk about video games for an entire hour. So I scrapped it. Now, I might be wrong about that. If you would like to hear me talk about video games from pre-Atari 2600 to the current generation, drop me a line, let me know. If there's more than a couple of you, then I'll probably post it. But the reason why I talked about video games for the better part of an hour was because, of course, we got new video games, right? We got the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Correct me if I'm wrong. I am so casual, I'm even brushing my hair in front of you. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is all way too far away. Let's get this up a little closer. That didn't help, but I won't sit all the way back here. Okay, I'll sit forward. So, my whole reason for that video was because I find myself in this really interesting next generation position, which I'd like to talk to you about, but I want you to know, yes, this video is going to be about producing the Little Mike audiobook. That's coming. I'm just wasting your time. So I just want you to know that right now I have the camera set up I have the phone set up so the camera is over on this side. I tend to want to look over this way. So I'm going to be hyper neurotic about where my eyes are looking for this video. So I've never had all the game consoles for one generation. I've been lucky. I think on one occasion I had two. So right now, Vicky and I are talking about the possibility of getting both an Xbox Series X and a PS5. And that is amazing to me, if for no other reason than their library of games. I'd be like a kid in a candy store. Of course, I can't get a hold of either one of them, probably not for the rest of the month. But I still am holding out hope. I don't really know why. So anyway, how you doing? December has started. Are you staying home? Are you being safe? I really hope you are. Vicky and I are doing our best to stay home. Or I should say, I'm doing my best to stay home. It turns out Vicky, it only took Vicky about 10 months or so before she cracked. And now she just wants to go everywhere. She would deny this, of course, but take it from me. I am sadly staying home. All the hiking areas near me have pretty much burned to a crisp. So I am not going to be hiking for some time. So I try to get out and walk. We run errands, but other than that, we pretty much stay home. And while I'm home, I'm doing a lot of work these days. DC Home Volume 2 is out in ebook, the script for DC Home Volume 2, I should say. And in about a week, I believe the audiobook will be up. I'll let you know once it is in this show, but if in case you're new to this, head on down to Audible, head on down to Amazon, head on down to iTunes, and you'll probably find the audiobook or the ebook or both at those locations. And I'm really excited about it. It's really good. Season 2 was a mess as I tried to write my way through a pandemic. But the way it comes out when you see the whole thing at once, it really is kind of 2020 in a nutshell. And I think that's what I really love about it. So that finished last week. And for for about a week, I've been working on preparations for the recording of the Little Mike audiobook. And I'm not a huge fan of some of my audiobooks. I have been learning on the job. So I'll be honest with you and tell you that my earlier audiobooks, not so good as my later audiobooks. And I've gotten pretty good at it. I think my sound is pretty good. But there's always things I'm going to be tweaking. So for instance, in the case of Little Mike, which I've already started recording, I'm going to be using different EQ settings for my own voice. I'm going to be recording in different locations to give the sound a different sound. There are a lot of little tweaks that I'm doing that I want to, because you always want to make the next one a little bit better than the last one. So I started recording last night, and I mentioned how I haven't been sleeping. So because I haven't been sleeping, I decided why not use this time to my advantage. Vicky works from home here, so during the day she's busy, and unfortunately my soundproofing in my studio doesn't extend to inside the house. Like, the windows are double paned, beautiful. They keep a lot of the sound out. But my bedroom and Vicky's office is right on the opposite side of my studio. So I end up hearing her when she's on the phone. And as much as I think that my audiobook audiences might be interested in hearing my wife do her job, I tend to think it might ruin the mood. So instead of, or I should say, rather than record during the day and contest with her over who's going to get their job done, I've shifted my schedule so I record at night. So the plan is, I'm tired. The plan is to record from 8 p.m. to midnight, assuming that most things are quiet from 8 a.m. or from 8 p.m. to midnight. My studio is not so soundproofed that I can't hear really loud cars right outside my window. And unfortunately, last night, Sunday night, there were so many just loud, annoying cars last night. But you suck it up, you do another take, you move on. Now I'm going to be recording for 3 weeks, 4 to 5 nights a week. There are 11 chapters in Little Mike, one of which I am going to split down the middle. I'm doing a chapter a night, with the exception of that one chapter. And, you go in not knowing anything about how it's going to sound, how it's going to turn out. You go in with a series of assumptions. And I've decided that after I film here this morning, and after I do a little reading this morning, we're going to be on honeymoon in the Bahamas, this chapter, by the way. After I finish that, and after I go up and I edit all that, I'm going to be editing last night's recording, which is new for me. I normally record it all and then edit it later. But since I'm recording at night, I can edit during the day and actually see how this is going to turn out. So while I don't know right now, when I talk to you next week, I'll have some idea, and either I'll say, yeah, it sounded absolutely like shit and I had to start all over again, or it's gonna sound fine. And I'm really hoping that it sounds fine. What else can I tell you about Little Mike? Little Mike's an interesting book for me. The way I schedule my book releases, I have 2 series that I'm working on, and then I also want to work on new things outside the series. So I always stagger my schedule to allow some time to write the books that are real risk takers, the books that I take a real chance with. And Little Mike is certainly that. You know, and then later this year, or I should say in the spring, I'll be writing what I'm calling right now Uptime Down, which is another book like this. So it's a real treat to be able to do it. I forgot where I was going, as I so often do. But I staggered them in between the series, understanding or assuming that the series will sell. Of course, nothing sells. I'm terrible with book sales. But you know, you just keep going. You resign yourself. The reason I write, fortunately, isn't for book sales, because if it was, I would have stopped decades ago. So, you know, still looking to find my audience and hoping that before I die, that actually happens. But that's where I'm at. Little Mike will be coming out in February. Now that I have an assistant, we're talking about different things to help get more readers attracted to it, this, that, and the other. These are all things that authors who have marketing staffs, such as those with publishers, do without a thought. And because I'm a one-man show, I've got to kind of really be strategic and plan out all of my time. So that's pretty much it for today, which is surprising because I went through everything so fast. And that's it. Thanks for coming around, and I hope you subscribe, click the like button, and connect with me on all that social media business on the screen. You may have noticed that I shaved. My plan was to remain shaved and have a nice, clean shaven face. Then I found out from my wife, because I thought that my beard was poking her when I kissed her, I found out that it's actually the stubble that pokes her. And once it's longer and, you know, it's actually hair, then it's not so bad. Which means either I have to have my face completely shaven, which I never do because my barber used to do that before COVID, and I feel really guilty. Or I grow the beard back. So the beard's coming back whether I like it or not, thanks to just the way kissing works, apparently. So that's it for me today, I guess. I guess I've got nothing else, but you enjoy your week, you enjoy your December, get your shopping done. I know I've got none of mine done. Vicky's been incredibly industrious and efficient, and I've been horrible. But it's Christmas. It's that time of year to be a slacker, and that's what I do. So until next week, when I will probably also do a video, you have fun.